Earnestly podcast here, June 2nd, 2020. A day, well, one of the days, I say, that's, I don't know, man. I've been silent on this thing for the past week. I've shared some episodes, older episodes and whatnot, but I've been silent because I'm hurting. By the way, I'm in the car on the way to work. I don't know. I'm hurting. This country, this world is falling apart at the seams, and there's nothing we can do about it. Well, it seems like nothing we can do about it. I feel helpless. You know, and I can sit here and do a podcast about George Floyd and how I feel about that, which I'll share some thoughts on that. I can sit here and share my thoughts on race and reactions and everything surrounding that, which we'll do here, of course. I'm just hurting, man. It's a strange time. It's a hard time right now. You know, a man was senselessly murdered in Minneapolis last week. You know, by people that should be protecting us, serving the community. You know, the racial part is the added layer. Like, I've been saying for, that this situation is twofold. It's not just the fact that it was a black person that died in the hands of a white cop. It was the fact that a cop killed a human being. White or black or Asian, doesn't matter. And it feels premeditated. It feels like it was planned and whatnot. I mean, you don't sit on somebody's neck for damn near 10 minutes and not say, "Oh, it was an accident. I'm sorry." You know, I've watched the video and clips. I refuse to watch the entire video because I can't. It's funny how some of these things I used to handle when I was younger, and as I've gotten older, I don't know. I just can't take it. It's I don't know. But there was obviously you could hear him, saying he can't breathe. To me, watching a murder in front of you, I mean, you hear about these things, but dude, you see it with your own eyes. It's. I don't know words. I don't have a word to describe it, to be honest with you. It changes everything. The reaction, obviously, has been very strong. And again, it's what I go back to what I've been saying for a long time, cause and effect. This is a long time coming. I must say I agree with the riots, and because obviously there's a lot of things going on there. We can have a more nuanced conversation about that as well too. The riots and who's causing the damage to all these buildings and properties and whatnot. But again, this is still a cause and effect of this all. You know, I've seen any reactions on social media. You know, I actually had to on Sunday had to take a step away from social media. It was too much. I don't know. Like, there are people, I think there, I'm talking about not just random folks on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, but even friends of mine, the people, colleagues of mine, I think my disappointment, really more than anything else, is coming in rooted in the fact that people just still don't get it. It's not so easy to just, oh, well, Dr. King said this, or don't, protest and this and that, and, that's the thing that pisses me off too. People using vague Dr. King quotes, to pacify the situation. By 1967, Martin Luther King was a changed man. People don't recognize that man. And I'm not saying that you should still admire the guy, but know the perspective, know the entire history. Don't just go, I love his I have a dream speech, or this little quote here, and I should feel better, and that should make me. That's my my message and my support to the movement. People are not ready to have this conversation. There's still a lot of people not ready to have this conversation. They feel uncomfortable because it makes them vulnerable. It makes them have to look to themselves. I'm not saying everybody's racist. I don't say every white person's racist. That's not the case at all. But this situation makes people uncomfortable, and that's a good thing, because this is not supposed to be easy. We need to lie down our biases. We need to lie down, open our minds and our world to what's going on. I'm guilty of that too myself. As a black person, I'm guilty of that as well. Growing up in a church, being taught all these things and whatnot, a bubble, if you will. And by the way, the church, let me be clear. There are a few pastors that people I've friends with who have become pastors, or people I've associated with in the past, have spoken out on this injustice and injustice in general, and I commend them. I absolutely commend them. My best friend's pastor spoke out about this, asking what we could do to help, and I commend them for doing that. Another old friend of mine, her husband is a pastor up north, and he spoke out also too, asking how he could help. I commend that. But there are a lot of people who I used to go to church with 20 years ago that have been very solid in the situation. And what bothers me is that these are the same people that have no problem spewing Donald Trump propaganda or right-wing propaganda at the blink of an eye, even to the point of spamming my own mailbox, whether true or untrue, but have no fucking word to say about this situation. Nothing to say. Not even speaking on the injustice. And they're part of the problem. And it's disappointing to see that you sit here and you claim you love God and that you're a follower of Christ and whatnot, but when you see the injustice going on, you have nothing to say about it. And I've had my own, I guess, come to Jesus moment, if you will. I've had my own issues with my faith as of late, like in recent years, not just now, but even in recent years. Being raised in a church, being a Christian since I was 12 years old, and being involved in ministry for a long time. And my wife and I both have had, lots of confusion and lots of thoughts about the state of the church itself. You think the one thing that the church would be very vocal about, and the body of a church be vocal about, is shit like this, is injustice like this. And many people still are very silent. Now, again, I'm going to acknowledge people who have been very vocal about this, and I am doing that, because there's quite a few of you guys who on my social media feeds have spoken out about this, about the injustice, and how we need to change and recognize institutionalized racism. But there are others who just don't give a shit. Maybe they're scared to post, I guess. I don't know. Maybe because they're so tied to the political jargon that it might be against what their ideology is. Which I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can politicize injustice And if you think that's tied to another in terms of how to express yourself, then you're part of the problem. Many people of faith have been very silent about this, and it fucks me up, man. It fucks me up. And you wonder why the church body is shrinking, every year. Why do you keep hearing that less people go to church these days than before? Because we can't get unity on issues like this, because it doesn't impact you. Of course, as long as it doesn't impact you, why do you care? Why care, right? It's that narcissism. It's that, well, I feel bad, I'll pray for them. No. Pray the thoughts prayers are over, dude. What did Jesus say? Faith without works is dead? Faith without works is dead. It's already a fucking thoughts and prayers. We want action. And especially a segment that should be involved in helping change. The church is the one thing in communities that you would think would be the most vocal of all. And they're not. At least a good portion of it, anyway. And the reason why I'm coming down to church so hard now is because I hold the church to a higher standard. I hold it to a higher standard. And I see who you are. I pay attention. I see who you are. My mom and I, my mom, who's a stout conservative. But I don't know if that's the same. I don't know if that's actually the case anymore. Given the last couple of years and whatnot. But she's still very conservative on a lot of issues. Her and I agree on a lot of issues. Some we disagree on. But she's disgusted herself. And this is somebody who is a churchgoer, a woman of faith that's, I lean on her. Sometimes when I fall behind, I lean on her to pick me up. With words, with wisdom, whatever. Especially when it pertains to, the church or, spirituality, whatever. And she's done. Like, she's over it. She's over. She said herself, she's over organized religion. I can't blame her. Again, the reason I'm so vocal about the church is because I hold them to a higher standard. I hold them to a higher standard than do the government. Let's put it that way. And again, there are people in the church who are being vocal, and to that I commend you. Thank you. Believe me, I feel your love. I feel support. We all do. But the ones that are silent, aren't saying anything. They use social media for other stuff. They're not so quiet. They're very vocal about other things. They think matters. It could be propaganda. It could be anything. But things like this, uncomfortable. Yeah. I see you. Trust me, I see all of you. And it's very disappointing to hear the silence. I didn't want to speak on this today. I honestly was going to just write or just kind of I'm burned out, dude. I'm mentally drained with this shit, dude. But here's the thing, let's do. I got a platform. This is a platform. I've done this show for almost 10 years. People do listen to this podcast. People do follow my work. I have an obligation to speak out. I just didn't know what to say for a couple days. The reason I came in slow rolling this whole thing is that I had nothing to say. I was burnt out. I want to make sure when my message comes out, it is concise and to the point and honest. I've had a few days to sit on this, actually, to be honest with you. It's just very disappointing to see how things have played out with certain people. I'm not picking on the church itself, but it's people who you think would be very vocal about injustice, and they're not. And that saddens me. I don't know. I'm actually pulling Dunkin' Donuts real quick. I might get a donut. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I don't know. I just wanted to speak my piece on this. You know, I have more to talk about, which I'll save for another episode, probably tomorrow or whatever. I do like this driving to work and doing this little 15-20 minute podcast at a time. You know, I don't have to be in the office to do it, but I don't know, man. The people who are supporting us, Black Lives Matter, just us in general, people who are pro equality, I salute you. Thank you. Again, we feel your love and support. Again, I think the hardest part for me, really, and I'll close to this real quick because I gotta go to work in a couple minutes. Is I had, Sunday night I had MSNBC on, or CNN, one of the stations, whatever the station I was on at the time. I actually don't even watch mainstream news really at all in any form, just because I don't trust the media on either side of the aisle. But I had on the news because I wanted to see I was going to see the footage of what's going on in the country, because I don't watch the news, like that. I listen to podcasts or I'll read. I'm old-headed that way. And my son, 7 years old, Eli, starts asking me questions about this stuff now, because he's starting to see this stuff, and people are, there's a lot of questions about whether you should teach your kids about this at a certain age or whatever. And we had a discussion at work with certain friends of mine, and and some of them agreed that they shouldn't share this yet. And I respect that, of course. However, in my case, because I am a black man with interracial kids, that choice is made for me. I have to tell my son about what's going on, the truth about race and about cops. He asked me, are cops good? Are cops good people? I told him, yeah, most cops are good, but there are some bad cops also too. And it's important I say this because it's very he's big into good and evil, bad guy, good guy. And so I had to be honest this morning and tell him, listen, not all cops are bad, but there's some that are a problem. And you still respect your elders, you respect law enforcement, whatnot. And and he said, yeah, okay. That was hard, because he's now seeing a world that's not that perfect. And at 7 years old, you shouldn't have to really feel that way. But at the same time, person of color like myself, that's a reality of the situation. So anyway, that's it. I'm parking now, so we'll talk later. And like I said, man, speak up on injustice, please. Love you guys. Take care. Stay up. Stay safe.